Welcome to this series where we are taking a look at the Sunset Harbor DLC. In the last part, we laid the foundation of our city. We got a few problems growing. I think it's probably due to the fact that my water is, we need to increase the budget for the water just to get that supply. Just want to check the power while we're at it. Power's getting a little bit low as well, but luckily we've now reached a point where we can use these generators, so we can put a couple of these in. And what I want to really do is grow the city. I'm not sure if we're going to do it in this part, but I think what I'd like to get to is, I think it's big town, because what I want to do is get to this high density. It's once you get to the high density, you can really start to pull the city together and get things growing. And that's exactly what I want to do in this part. The other thing I also wouldn't mind doing is getting some fish farming or something operating as well. I think to start with, we're just going to keep dealing with the issues of the city. I think we're going to come out like that. And come out. Maybe just bring you in here. Give some of the residents a view of the coast, although that could be a bit precarious. Being helpful, please. And what we're just going to do is just zone in this whole area here, like that, and just check the water. Yep, should have known the water would not cover the area, so well, that's good there. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a trash problem. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah. So we're going to need another garbage processing site. I must admit, I'm very tempted just to put in a large garbage site here just for the moment. Just for the short term. I'm not happy with that pollution. Maybe we'll just put you up there. I mean, we can always empty it later on. I mean, it's not the end of the world. How's the power distribution? The power distribution's good. So what we can do is get rid of those. That gives me a little bit more space to be working with things. Now, the next thing I really want to focus on is education. We really need a high school in here somewhere, and more elementary education. Do we actually have access to the high school? Yes, we do. So I think we're going to get the high school in this corner, and I think we're got the elementary school over here. Education is everything in City Skylines if you want good growth, especially with the buildings leveling up. I'll show you here. You'll see here it says here, educate more citizens, allow the buildings to be upgraded. Make sure your education facilities can handle all the potential students. And that is really the key to getting a big city. Not that we're going to build a really big city in this series. What we're really more focused on is getting some fishing up and down running and some other items. We're now at 2,300. The demand is low, but I think we can start keep planning. Now, I've had people ask me about this gridding and what I'm actually doing, especially like in the first part, and I think it's quite important to realize two things. First, that when you first start a city in City Skylines, it's about getting the city to grow. So the way to imagine it is you start with a small village, then it becomes a town, then it becomes a city. I think a common mistake that especially new players make is they try and lay out a permanent city from the get-go. That's something that very experienced players can do, but to me it just seems a bit artificial. Wow, we've got fire up here. That's great. Yeah, to me it just seems a little bit artificial. I mean, I prefer my cities to grow organically like this, and over time I will twist and reshape it to the format that I actually want. Don't like this corner though. I know it's gonna, yeah, I mean, this is very much the way I like to look at cities, and I think it's more fun actually allowing cities to kind of be, you know, to find their own destiny. And I think that's make that a little bit neater and tidier in that corner there. Still got a little bit more demand for commercial as well, so maybe we need to straighten this up a little bit like that, and you can come through to there, and you can come through to there. And what we'll do is we'll put a whole raft of stuff there and there. Just check the water. The water's getting a bit shaky. I think we can probably stroke across another one there and another one there. I mean, I might as well get the grid in because eventually we will be building through here. So we got 5,000, so we've got to be a little bit careful with the money. And demand's okay. We got a little bit of demand for industry. I think we can just push that industry out here, because I know we've got water and power through here from the last initial part. So the city's growing. Now I'm not too worried about public transport. As I say, to me it's education, education, education for the moment. Let's have a look at, we got police station, we got a fire station, we got fire cover, so that's looking good. How far? And the city's growing. We're up to 2,643. I'm not totally sure that we're going to get to 6,000 in this part. Traffic. Wouldn't mind expanding the city as well. How much money have we got? 12,000. Now we could go north that way, and that will allow me there, but it means I'd have to cross the highway. I don't really want to go water. I think we're going to go this way because I'm not totally happy with this little bit here. So we're going to come here. Oh, we got another tile. Cross the water. Now I think we're going to leave the another tile. It's this area just feels a little bit messy. I mean, my instinct is to come through here. Got here, new building. Shortwave radio mast, 10,000, yep. I mean, I would. There's part of me says just tidy this up, but I couldn't get a junction in here. But I could. Let me just see. We actually have access to highway junctions. Wow, can't even afford that at the moment. No, I think I might have to leave my road engineering. My instinct is to bring the highway in to here and come over there, and then have a clover leaf about here, and then bring this road out this way and this way. Then we'll leave this road to expand up that way. Yeah. And then what that will do is it would give us a... Actually, could I... We rotate that. No, my instinct is for that. And then a road that would go through to there, and then that would give us a kind of connection through to there. But that's all for the future. Wow, got massive residential demand. So I better get the population growing. It's going to come here. Just to here like that. Kind of part of me says, whoops, I don't want that. Thank you, game. Oops, cancel. What I'll do is come out 1.5 here. We'll line that up. And we're going to go across across to like that, and then just come in like that. And sorry, residents, but it's important. And then, oh, no. Oh, we can have that bit there. Then we're gonna have a. We're gonna come up here. Just come across like this, down, and in like that. That will allow residents from here to go over to there. We've got a bit of cash. Let's just check the education point now. Got that there. That's good. Elementary's good. And what I want to do now is just have a quick look at some of the new buildings for children and elderly that were introduced as part of the DLC. I'm not totally convinced I'm going to need them just at the moment, but maybe we can put these in just at the moment like that. Put one there. There's no immediate kind of health surge benefit. It's like we're running out of water. Let's have a quick check. Thing. Yeah, we're going to need to take the budget up to there. Just have a look at this here. There's Child Health Centre operating normally. Child health services to children visitors. Yes, I've got a feeling this is more for later on. Once you get a really big city, I don't feel it just at the moment for a small city, but we'll keep it for the moment, and we can just put that in there. Just for the funsies of it, we'll just put this in here. I don't want to come any closer than that, but I think we can put a little bit of residential there. Oh, why not? Let's just put in. Well, that's big. Okay. Okay, we'll just put the elderly centre there. We've got elder care. Elder care offers the elderly people. Elder care offers the elderly a place to gather and spend their time together, take part in hobbies, and receive necessary treatment. Let's just have a look at what that goes. Once you come under health, we got now healthcare, deaf care, child care. Well, that's pretty good. That's got a lot of coverage. It says it's above elderly. Probably I should have put this more into this part of the city. We got elderly care going into the commercial district and all that, so these probably need to be in the center of residential areas. So let's get that in there. Demand for residential is on the increase again. I think we can just put that across the top. Make sure. Let's keep using up all the water coverage the best we can. I think probably we could. What's the land value like? It's not brilliant. It's good, but not brilliant. Got a little bit of cash. I think we can. A couple of small parks won't come a miss. I think. If we put one there, maybe another one there. Of course. When you put out parks, don't forget your commercial areas. That we got. Maybe that's a bit too big. Wouldn't mind. Wouldn't mind putting one in here, but okay. Got one. See, that will have an effect on the commercial zone, and that will encourage things to grow. One thing I didn't do was cover this area here, so we're gonna have to upset these residents a little bit by getting them to move out. In fact, I think we'll paint this whole area here. We're gonna get residential coming down here, so I could probably do with painting out this commercial area as well. Here. Again, we're just going to disrupt the commercial area here. And of course, eventually over here we'll have farming industry. And got more demand for industry. It's growing. Kind of. I think we're gonna come out like that. You in like that, and just hook you through like that. Let's keep it all growing out. When we got this tile, so we might as well start thinking about using it. A bit more commercial coming out. I'd like to come south, maybe like that. We can, if we go this way, oops, and get a big commercial area in here, like that. And of course, this is going to be south of the water, so I'll just hook you up like that. You up like that. I mean, there is a method in my madness as well, because what I'm thinking is I have fish farm down here. I don't know if we can get a fish farm in. Oh, we've now reached Busy Town. So we've got city planning policies, level 4 unique buildings, sightseeing, tour buses, trolley buses. That's new for the Sunset DLC. Tourist specialization, not particularly interested in there. We've got a whole series of new roads. Of course, we've got the roads for the trolley buses. We've got power, hospital, fishing tours, weather radar, and we've got a fish farm. So we should have the money really now. So unless this isn't unlocked, or we got this unlocked. What's this? This is warehouse storage. I think I would like to get some fishing in. Of course, these really bright colours are the fishing types. So we got anchovies over here, shellfish, and I can't see any sap. We've got little bits of salmon there, and I can't see any tuna at the moment. But at the moment, that's not relevant, because what our first, this is actually tied to these specializations. What the first thing we've got at the moment is just put in an ordinary fishing harbour, and I suppose we better put that up like that. And we're just going to need a little bit of power. And I think what we got to do now is put in. Actually, let's just be a little bit sneaky here. I don't really want to put in power cables, so what we can do is put a in there. What that should do is, didn't quite make it. Okay. What we'll do is we'll put that in there. What that should do is this grows up with demand. It should pick up. And we'll just put in a little bit more residential along the bottom here. I hate doing this because we're creating an urban sprawl, and I'm gonna have to fix it later on. So we've now got power here. Now, as far as I know, what we've got to do now is put in a fishing route. I mean, I've got no idea how big this should be. Water required. Ah, it's because it's. And one thing I do want to try, yeah, we can go outside the map. And so I don't know how big it should be or shouldn't be or whatever it's meant to be. And what we've got now is a fish farm. I don't want a fish farm. We've got to sell our fish question is, does the fish market need to cover residential or commercial? I think what we'll do is we'll go 50-50 and see how it works out. So that's our fish market. That actually improved this area here. But of course it's probably going to cause noise and pollution. Let's just have a check. Yeah, you can see the noise factor there. So, sorry, but you're going to have to move out. I don't want you, actually, really a bit of you as well. And maybe just to offset some of the problems, we'll just come in like that and just keep pushing you south. Coming forward down another block and across like that and across like that, and knock in, have a great big wodge. What's the road connection like here? Yep, I think we can do that. And let's put in, this is not going to split, so we have to go this way. So, I mean, we can put in something in here that's neutral. Like, put in a few more parks, or what are you? Yep. What are you still doing lingering there? You let's just get rid of you. That's looking good. We've got our fishing out and about. How much have I got? 42,000. Can I get in a fish farm now? Fish market. This is a fish farm. What does a fish farm look like? Wow. Okay, let's just get in the fish farm. I'm just going to hook that to there. And that's the beginning of a coastal road running around here. And you can come there. And you can come down to there and then hook into there. You can hook across to there. Right, we're getting a bit of a worker shortage now. So we may need to start looking at some form of public transport to get people into here. Because this is say not enough workers. Yep. That's because my commercial area is too big. What I could do is I'm just going to dezone this area here, push the workers into this area here, and create the demand. I'm just going to dezone out of that area. What that should do is the workers that were coming up to here should now come to this area. Oops. Okay. Let's just have a quick check of fire coverage. Getting a little bit shaky. Crime's good. I think I could do with a fire station, and that gives us a perfect opportunity to put something in there. And what that will do is push this up a little bit. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and just push this back this way a little bit. Close this off, and because we're now starting to get a little bit of industry growing, I think what we can do is put just some traditional commercial on the back here. It's just bring you through like that, and then just put in a little bit more commercial here just to fill in this corner. What's this? This is, what are you? Oh, you're a fish truck. Okay, so you're actually delivering to the fish market. Well, that's cool. I like that. Something to remember though, that we certainly don't want the fish trucks going through a residential area. Did it tell me how much you sold? Nothing. Okay, I suppose it takes a little while for this to warm up and get going. So, how are we doing for waste transport? Garbage. Garbage processing. How are we doing here? Already 21% full. Not good. Something tells me I need garbage or some form of recycling down here. I wonder if I can. What is the? I mean, that's got a small footprint. I mean, it's going to be a bit difficult to tell. What's the? I think what we can do is, but that might affect the fish farm. Okay, we got power problems. Yeah, power's getting a bit fluctuating, so what I'm gonna do is get a couple more of these in. Just keep the power going. Just had a thought, if I put a road in, say, over here, what we could do is get garbage over here. Let's check the, yeah, there's water under here. We can feed our garbage processing in from this point of view, and what we can do is another road in there. But more demand for residential. Wow. Oh, we got a little bit down the back here. We can come across here. How are we? 4,800. 17,000. I sneak in. Oops, some small parks. Some titchy little parks here. Put a park in there. A bit of a water problem up here. And we got water availability again. How's the budget? I think what we're going to do is we're just going to push the water up to 112% for the moment while I get the money to start to put this together. Right, we need a water treatment plant, which is, we got one up here. What's this? 133,000 cubic meters drain capacity. So we're gonna have to push this out, go out this far here. The trouble is it's getting into this area where I might want to develop things. And we go eco. Maybe we'll just go. What we'll do is we'll put an eco one out here just to see how well that actually connects. See what the difference in pollution is. We got the polluting one there. We put this one here. We'll just see how things go. How come you're not? Okay. I'm going to test the pollution by actually putting industry out close to it. Never mind, that's the way it goes. I don't think we need that, so we could. This is now growing, so we can take these out along the top here. And what that should do is grow through here, and of course the water intakes are going to be a little bit easier because I'll just put this here and connect you up here. And of course what we should be able to do now is reduce the budget a little bit, save some cash, and we can now take out that and that, and sneak in a little bit there. We're up to now 5,294. It's growing. Yes, I know I can buy new tiles game. So any other problems developing? I just don't want to push the city too hard, but it's got this incessant demand for. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to move people in closer to the fish farm or fish market, and then eventually once we get to 6,000 residents and we go to big town, what we can do then is pull the residents back from this area here. It looks like I'm going to have to come down another level. I didn't really want to do this, but I think what we'll do is we'll come down 1.5 again. That kind of fits in this area here, like this. And that's not working. Something. Oh, the land is distorting, so let's just take that out. Yeah, we're just going to go for an ordinary block for the moment. I've got a horrible feeling there's going to be a lot of reshaping of this city in the future, and you're just going to have to come that way. I'm just going to block the whole lot through here like that. You down like that. And of course we have to check for water because there is no water. And 440 across like that. You can just push out there and just give an emergency hook through there. So, yep. So we're keeping this whole part of the city environmentally active. You can see the difference here. If I show you these buildings, these only have one level of workers. So the maximum these buildings will ever produce is 16 workers. If you come to ordinary, you can see these grow slower. But what eventually is, once we can get them to level 3, they will actually have more workers in it. So in some ways mixing the two together is really good, because what you can do with this type of commercial building is keep the demand for workers low, which then avoids one of the early problems you can have with a city with demand for more workers. And then you can, once you've got the city up and running and everything's working well, then you can weave in the other forms of commercial, which will then fill that gap in. So our garbage is up to 31%. We're getting closer and closer to 6,000. How's the education? Let's have a quick check. Secondary is getting a little bit low. High school's already low. Okay. I think education-wise, we're probably. We can put in. We've got a little bit of space here. Actually, let's put you. I think if you would be better off down here next to the fish farm. You can learn about the fishing industry. And high school. Where would I want to put a high school? Oh, what have we got here? That's because this isn't really up to the job. from a perspective of the budget. We're just going to have to lift this up again. This is the problem when you unbalance the connection between water treatment and water supply. That because one, so effectively, if you look at it from this point of view, this produces 120,000. If I show you the eco here, this only produces 60,000. So technically, what we actually need is a second one of these. So for every water intake, we actually need 2 eco treatment plants. How's the pollution here? Oh, and we've reached Big Town. So we've now got another tile to unlock. We've got campus taxation. Campus, which means we've now got access to universities, IT clusters, a whole load of new policies. Most importantly of all, we've now got access to high density buildings, commercial and office zones. We've got a fishing island, that's to do. We've got a new incineration plant, which should help us with the garbage. And we've got hot air balloons, intercity bus station, which is something I would really want to start to look at. And we've got an intercity bus hub. I wonder what the difference between the two is. Yeah, we've got lots of nice stuff there. Elevated metro stations. We've now got the metro, which is my favourite form of public transport. Yep. So we've got there, and everything is looking good. Got a little bit of cash to spend. What I'm going to do is just start the process of lifting the. What we're going to do now is dezone through here and rezone you in as high density. And the trick is to do this in steps. Don't kind of do the whole city. Just do them in stages. Let the city build up. That keeps your population growing and keeps the income going. And of course, one thing we do need to do is set our taxes. We'll set this to 11%, 11%, and 11%. Of course, one of the first things I also want to do is I'm going to dezone you here and here, and we are dezone you. We're going to change this to offices, but what we want to do is just keep those road junctions clear. And of course, one thing we can do over here is get some offices in over here. So this is the beginning of our sound barrier between residential and commercial. So we can just get that in there. I think this is a good point to leave it. The city is now a point where I can take control and start to shape the city I want, and we should be able to start getting a reasonable revenue in. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.